crafting your origin story. So when we do a whiteboard webinar, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be teaching our 3 secrets. And these are 3 miniature stories that when we're done teaching them, we are now going to make an offer. So what I'm going to do right now is walk you through the overall structure of the webinar and then focus on the origin story so you can at least get that part done today. But I want you to understand what the whiteboard webinar will entail, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to teach 3 secrets and then we're going to make an offer. But in order to make the 3 secrets in context, we first share an origin story. So how this whiteboard webinar would go is like this. We'd have our whiteboard and we'd say, hey, this is Dan Henry, and in today's webinar, I am going to teach you how to do this thing. We start with that. Now, in order for you to understand how I accomplished this thing, I'd like you to tell you a little bit story of how I discovered this. And then we tell our origin story, okay? And then when we're done with the origin story, we say, all right, now I'm going to teach you the 3 major secrets I learned on how I did that. So if I tell you the story of how I was a struggling author and then I, got a New York Times bestseller, whatever it is, okay? Or if I told you the story of how I was overweight and I was constantly traveling so I couldn't lose weight, but I finally figured it out and here I am, that would be your origin story, which I'll get into details on that in a minute, but I'm just showing you the overall structure now. So we would, to sort of like draw this out, we start by making a promise. So we make promise in the webinar. Hey guys, intro. We intro ourselves first. Hey, I'm Dan Henry, and today, it could be just as simple as, hey, I'm Dan Henry. Or if you're the founder of a certain website or whatever, I'm the founder of GetClients.com. I'm the author of Digital Millionaire Secrets. You just make an intro, simple. Hey guys, make a promise. In today's webinar, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this thing, all right? And now we start with the origin story, okay? And that just tells the story of how you accomplished that thing that you promised. It's going to be 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. And then we move on to secret 1. Now, again, I'm going to go over the details of this origin story in a minute, but I'm just getting you clear on the structure here for now. So then we go on secret number 1. And secret number 1 is going to share something of value related to how you achieved the promise, the goal, the end result that you told about in your origin story. So you share that in secret number 1, then you share that in secret number 2, and then you share another one in secret number 3. And when you're done with secret number 3, you say, all right, guys, would you like a little help with this? Or would you like to just do it on your own? And everybody's going to pick number 2. So for instance, we say ask. So we share secret number 3, then we ask. We say, all right, guys, here's what I share with you. I shared with you this. I shared with you this. I shared with you this. Now, let me ask you a question. Would you like to figure this out all on your own, or would you like a little bit of help? Type in 1 for doing it on your own. Type in 2 for getting help. Everybody's going to type in 2. Almost everybody. Okay, great. So now you've asked for permission to pitch, right? You've asked for permission to pitch. And so now what's going to happen is you can now pitch without people thinking you're being salesy, because you just said, hey, I've taught you all this, all right? Can I pitch? That's essentially what you're saying. You're saying, would you rather do it all on your own, or would you like help? Everybody's going to say, or at least the majority of people are going to say, I would like help. That's giving you permission to pitch. Then we pitch. And it's very simple. We say, all right, guys, I've opened up some time on my calendar to take one-on-one consulting calls. Here's what you're going to get. I'm going to show you exactly how to implement, or I'm going to show you exactly how I achieved this. I'm going to show you exactly how to implement this and all the things you need to do to make it happen. How to implement this, how to implement this. And what you do is you create a stack, okay? And the stack is just all the bullet points of what you're going to cover or what problems that they have that you could solve in relation to this process. And then you say, I'm going to be charging this much. So I'm going to be charging $500 per hour for these calls. But right now I'm doing a special where if you get in early and you just promise to give me a honest review of my call, I'll do it for only $97 or $200 or whatever it is. But you have to take me up on this offer before we end this webinar. You can go to this page to buy, and that's that, right? And then what you do is you just do Q&A. And the purpose of this is to overcome any objections that people have on the webinar and talk to them while giving them time to go to the order page and buy, right? So somewhere in between here, they're going to go to the order page and buy, and then you end the webinar, okay? So we introduce ourselves. We make a promise of the problem we're going to solve. We tell a quick story of how the overall like bird's eye view of how we solve the problem. And then we tell 3 secrets. And these secrets are basically, and I'll get into the secrets on those days, but they're basically to overcome their belief system that it's not possible. So you're actually going to inspire belief and show them what is a better way to accomplish, not necessarily teach. I'll get more into that on the days with the secret, one thing at a time. But anyway, after you teach this, you're going to ask, hey, would you guys like help, or would you like to implement these 3 secrets on your own, or would you like help? Type 1 for doing it on your own. Type 2 for getting help. They're going to type 2. Oh, great. Well, since you guys would like help, I'd like to introduce you to an offer I have this week where I'm doing one-on-one coaching calls for this much. And this is what I'm going to be charging in the future. But if you guys get in today and you promise to give me an honest review, I'll charge this much, but you must get in before the end of this webinar. All right, guys. Now, if you have any questions, I'll take Q&A and I'll answer them until the last question. And once the webinar ends, that's when this special deal is off the table. That's it. Don't make it any more complicated than that. So at this point, it's very easy to understand how to do the intro. It's very easy to understand how to make the promise. It's very easy to understand how to make the ask. The Q&A is just Q&A. What requires a little bit more explanation is the origin story, how to tell the 3 secrets, and how to format your pitch. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to focus on the origin story. And then in the coming days, I'll teach you how to do these secrets. And on secret 3, is where I'll explain the pitch, okay? And you'll just keep moving forward. So today, our goal is to create the origin story. This is very simple. You're gonna tell a story on how you went from point A to point B. Point B being the problem that they wanna solve. So how you had the problem and what you did to solve it. And you want to write out your story or tell your story and time yourself. It's probably going to be like 10 minutes. You're probably going to go off on a tangent, okay? You want to cut that down until it's under 3 minutes, preferably 2.5 minutes. And that will make it brief and concise. So for instance, if you were to ask me, Dan, how did you build an 8-figure business selling online educational programs? I could spend 20 minutes going, well, I did this, and then I did a webinar, and then I did that, and and then this happened. Or I could simply say, well, guys, one day I was in college, and I was looking for extra money to pay my way through college, and I stopped in a Guitar Center, and I noticed that somebody there was trying to figure out what microphone to buy, and I helped them, and they were so impressed with me, with my advice, that they paid me $100 to come to their house and teach them how to use their equipment. And I did that. And from that moment, I realized, wow, you can make a lot of money teaching people things. And you don't have to be the top in your field. You just have to know a little bit more than them. And so over the next several years, I dedicated my life to learning how to sell my advice, become a consultant, become an educator. And from there, I was able to hit my first million in just 5 months after starting my business. And we grew that there to an 8-figure business. And today I'm going to teach you the top 3 secrets on what I learned from doing that. Done. Okay. See what I'm saying? So your origin story, yeah, like we could get into real crazy storytelling methods and specifics. In fact, one time I hired Michael Hague. I don't know if you know who Michael Hague is, but he's a top storytelling consultant. He consults for Will Smith, Julia Roberts. He consults on multiple Hollywood movies on their storytelling. I hired him to come out to my home and literally work with me personally on the art of storytelling. I invested that, and believe me, that was a lot. But that's not necessary for this, okay? This is a whiteboard webinar. It's a challenge, and you're just going to sell something as simple as a $97 coaching call. My company sells $50,000 consulting programs all the way down to a $7 book. We have different levels. I've had people pay me $10,000 for just a couple hours of my time in person. That requires a bit more advanced storytelling. But the purpose of this challenge is to show you guys that you can make your first sale. So you don't need to go and buy books on storytelling and research how to tell a story. I don't want you to go that deep, because if you go that deep right now, you're never going to get it done. I just want you to tell a quick, very vague, very brief story of, where you were and what inspired you to take action and where you ended. Okay. So I started out as somebody who was struggling to find my way in entrepreneurship. I ran into this guy and he paid me $100 for my advice. And from there, I figured everything out and I built a multi-million-dollar online education company. Done. Simple. That's it. Another example, if you're doing a traveling weight loss offer. Okay. So I had this job where I traveled 8 months out of the year. I was extremely overweight. This is what I looked like. No matter what I did, I couldn't figure out how to lose weight while on the road because I was eating hotel food. And then I met another guy at a conference where he did the same exact thing I did, but he was in great shape. And so I asked him, I said, hey man, how are you getting in this good a shape on the road? I can't figure it out. And he said, oh, well, let's have lunch. So we went to lunch and we were there for 2 hours and he explained absolutely everything to me. And I kept in contact with him over the next few months and I implemented, and I started losing weight. And then I looked further into it and further into it. I read books and I came up with a complete system for myself that not only allowed me to lose weight, but eat the foods I love, enjoy my time traveling, and be able to, not spend hours in the gym exercising when, I needed to be working or whatever it is, right? And, today I look like this and I'm able to still travel and go on vacation and do all this stuff and still maintain shape. And what I'm going to do today is show you the 3 biggest secrets I learned from accomplishing this. So that is the origin story. Here's where I started. Here's the thing that gave me the idea to make a change, and here's the result. And now I'm going to share the 3 biggest secrets on how I accomplished this. That is the origin story. So that's why I had to explain the whole thing to you in order to explain the origin story. Okay? So all I want you guys to do today is come up with this part and try to get it down to like 2 to 3 minutes saying it. And when you do it on the whiteboard webinar, you're probably not going to use the actual whiteboard for that part. You'll be using it for the secrets and the pitch, but that's it, okay? So that said, today, try to get your origin story down to 2 to 3 minutes.
So first key is we always start with some kind of backstory, right? And part of it is, like we talked about, Hero's True Journey. Like people have to care who you are. And the problem is with you as an expert, they're seeing you up on this mountain. They're like, dang, like, look how awesome this person is. And if you're up there talking down to them, then there's no empathy. They don't care about you as much. So like for you to have real empathy and impact on someone, you have to get off of wherever you're at, the results you've already achieved, and come back down over here to where they're at and be like, hey man, guess what? I was in this exact same spot. I remember what it was like and it sucked. There's some cool stuff over here I can show you, but like I need to tell. And so you start your journey, your story there, right? So I'm in this wall, I'm in this opportunity. I've been trying to lose weight through this means, through this thing, and I can't do it anymore. I'm stuck. You were stuck, and you show like I hit this wall. I was trying to get that result, but I was stuck in this vehicle. I hit this wall. I can't get forward because the vehicle sucks. Like it's impossible for me to move forward because of the vehicle I'm in. So for me to have success, I have to leave this vehicle, which is scary because my whole life I was taught this is the way to do it. I have to get out of that vehicle and come over here to a new vehicle. And it's like, oh, scary. But I gotta show them, like, I was willing to do that. Like my whole life I learned this is the way to do it. And as soon as I was say, okay, I'm not getting my result, no matter how hard I try, I'm stuck in this wall, I'm stuck in this vehicle. I'm gonna go on a journey because I have to figure this out. I have to get that's my goal. Then I walk over here, boom. And so then I started doing something, started happening. Okay, and that's where I start telling the story where I have this epiphany. And the epiphany I have is the new opportunity. Like I had this epiphany, wow, I need this thing. And that brings down that presents this new opportunity. So this is a new vehicle I get into. I'm like, oh, I had this epiphany. And all of a sudden I realized that was the thing. And I got into this new vehicle. Like, sweet, I'm in this vehicle. It's different. I don't know if it's going to work yet. I just got here. Now what do I do? Okay, well, I have a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try this, this, and this. And so I go and I start on this plan. This is my plan to try to get that result. I'm going through this plan. And somewhere through the plan, there's this conflict that happens as I was trying to execute this conflict, and I struggled and I couldn't get through because of this thing that happened. But then at the end, two things happened. Number one is I achieved it, or I didn't, but I achieved it. So I got my external desires, which is cool. But the coolest thing is not that. The coolest thing, look how I transformed. The internal desires I had back there, like that's what actually mattered. I'm showing them the resolution of the Heroes 2 journeys. And that's the Epiphany Bridge script. Is that amazing? Yes. Oh, anyway, I got chills just like going through, like I'm so excited. And so that's kind of the process. And so I also broke it down into questions to make it super easy for us to be able to like have it, right? So the first, if you look through this, there's a couple elements. There's 8 elements: backstory, desires, the wall, the epiphany, the plan, the conflict, achievement, and transformation. Okay, and I spent that night, if you guys watch my Snapchats, that's what I was doing until 4:30 that morning, was this. Like I was just like nuts and like going, I'm like freaking out on Snapchat. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening, but I'm freaking out, like, oh. So I wrote these questions in a way that gets me to actually do the right thing, right? So the backstory. So what's your backstory that gives us a vested interest in your journey? It's not what's your backstory, but like, why should I care about you? So that's the first question. And then you answer that. Well, boom, you tell the backstory. It gives them a vested interest in your journey. Number 2 is, what is the desire you wanted to accomplish? What were the external struggles you were dealing with? And what are the internal struggles? We're going to share those. Then we have the wall. What's the wall or the problem you hit within your current opportunity that started you on this new journey? It was physically impossible for me to grow and get what I wanted because of this opportunity I'm stuck in. Okay, then you had this epiphany that you experienced as you went on this journey that introduced you to this new opportunity. Then you had a plan. What was the plan you created to achieve your desire? And what was the conflict you experienced along the way? What was the result of what you achieved? And what was the transformation that you experienced? That's magic. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Okay.
It's going to take a while to draft them.
Good, you got 3 minutes. Just kidding. So what? No, but I'm kind of serious. So this is the plan between now and lunch. I want to push you guys. I'm going to push myself too. So what I'm going to do, and what you're all going to do, is I want you guys to think, and this fits in any story, but specifically I want your origin story right now. We're going to be talking about all the sub-stories after lunch. But right now, the origin story, the thing that gave you the initial epiphany that got you into this vehicle that you're in right now, like, why are you here? Why are you doing this thing? Okay, so you guys see how simple that was. I didn't like script it. All I had was like these questions in front of me, and I just went through it and told it, okay? So for those of you guys who are writers, you're gonna write this out. You can get the Epiphany Bridge questions, and you just basically gonna answer them in story format, okay? Tell the backstory. What's the backstory that gives us a vested interest in your journey? Hey, my name is Russell Brunson. I wanna tell you my backstory about how I became the greatest hot dog flipper in the world, or whatever your thing is, right? And then like tell the backstory, like this is what happened. I was like blah, 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 and this is, you know, and tell your whole backstory. And then what was it you want to accomplish? What was your external struggle? What was your internal struggle? What was the wall, the epiphany, the plan, the conflict, achievement, transformation? Like just go through this whole process, okay? So that's if you're writing it out. Now, if you're doing Facebook Live and you might get a little nervous, read through these questions a bunch of times, have this in front of you, like literally have it right here and have your phone and be like, hey guys, da, 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 and don't feel bad. Okay, number 2, next one I'm talking about is my wall. Number 3, and then like, feel free to like freestyle it and go back and forth with like you talking to the camera, looking down the script. Like don't feel awkward. Again, if you're just getting started with this, the best thing about it, and in your mind you're like the worst thing, nobody's gonna be watching this. The best thing is that nobody's gonna be watching it, right? You're on your fan page where you're doing this. Maybe you have like 2 fans. Maybe it's you, your mom, and probably me, right? There's not a lot of people at first, right? But it's about you finding your voice and practicing this, okay? And so the origin story is gonna be the very first one. If you're doing a podcast, same thing. Get your microphone, be like, hey, I'm Russell Brunson. This is episode 1 of my podcast. Before I get started, I want to tell you guys my origin story, how I got started. And you tell your story. Now, I love it for the first podcast, first Facebook Live, first blog post, because what happens a lot of times is when you fast forward and you publish like 20 years, right, or 5 years, or whatever, a year from now, people will come in and they'll listen to 2 or 3 of your episodes, read 2 or 3 of your blog posts, and if they love your stuff, what they always do is they go back and they binge start from the very beginning. They're going to go back to the very beginning, they're going to read your origin story, and they'll start moving through, okay? And so I love having the origin story as the very first thing, because the origin story is the best way to connect somebody initially to you. It gets them sold on, it gets you the ability to tell them the original reason why you geeked out, why you got so excited about this thing, and that way you're able to go and actually connect with them have the big epiphany, and then they'll follow you wherever you need to go, okay? Now, we're going to start telling stories a lot, over and over and over again. So I don't want you getting caught up and stressed now. I want you just to like be awkward and nervous and just do it. Just click record and go. Okay, if you were here in Boise right now at our old fat events when we were doing them here all the time, like literally that's all I would do is I had everyone, I taught this concept. I said, okay, go in the halls. You're not allowed back in until you've done it. I don't care how scared you are, like go click record and go. And people were freaking out. People hide in the bathrooms like, oh, and like all sorts of stuff. I need to put, like, this is gonna be a push for some of you guys. And some of you guys, it's gonna be so scary, you're gonna freak out, but it's time. You're ready, okay? You're one funnel away. This is the whole point of this challenge, but it all starts with you finding your voice, getting this message out there.
Now, we all have an origin story. What is an origin story? An origin story is the way we got started in the thing that we do. Okay, so all of you have one. It's the biggest thing that I get from people when they're like, I don't know if I have an origin story or whatever. I don't have everyone has an origin story, okay? The point of an origin story is to think back to how you got started in the thing you're doing right now. Okay? Right now, like if you are in any profession at all, there is at some point there was a logical reason why you went and actually jumped in the thing you are. Okay? When we see the backstory of the logical reason why you got in the thing that you are, that is like the first step to becoming the attractive character, right? That's the intro. It's the story you carry along with you. It's the banner you carry with you as the attractive character as you go and start selling. Okay, people care about that. They don't just care about the product, especially nowadays. Okay, we want to know the person behind the curtain, right? What's the ghost in the machine? What's their story, right? How did they get started in this thing? And is it all just about money for them, right? No logic. Well, I was just 22 and stupid. Okay, but there is a reason. Okay, there is definitely a reason. Why did you get into the thing that you are? And usually there's some life event that most people go through. Okay, and if you're like, man, it was just the first job that came my way. Okay, but why? And the easiest way, guys, this is gonna be really, really funny. But the easiest way for you guys to go and figure out what your origin story is to act like you're a 5-year-old. Okay, I have a 5, 3, and a 7-month-old. I have 3 girls and tons of fun. But my 5-year-old will not stop asking why. Okay, to everything. And it's like the best method for figuring out your origin story. Okay, how'd you get in the thing that you are? Why did you do that? What made you do that? Why? And get a little annoying about it. Exactly. Get a little bit annoying about it with yourself and start writing. Okay, and write, and well, because of this, because of this, because of this, because of this. Oh, what you're trying to uncover is it's pretty easy to uncover backstory. What's not easy to uncover, but is really as equally interesting for the listener, and they really need to hear it, is your desires. You're trying to uncover desires. What were the desires that I was feeling internally? Was there some insecurities? Was I feeling really confident and therefore I did this thing? Was I right? And what you're doing is you're finding it both the internal and external based desires. You have to find those out. Most people, remember, we don't want to be the storytellers. It's like, well, yeah, there's a book that I read that a guy gave me in a limo, wherever that book went. My guess is if you get really granular with it, in fact, it's not a guess, I know, if you just get really granular with it, you will start to see little things that have gone on in your life that your audience would actually really bond with you over. Meaning they've gone through very similar things. And if you say those things and you be open and transparent about it, okay, they love that. They absolutely love that stuff. Okay, it is what binds them to you. Okay, now, throughout the remainder of the story, they have a vested interest. And they care about the epiphany that you had for the reason you're in your thing. They care about the plan, the conflict, the achievement, the transformation. Okay, super, super awesome. Anyways, so the origin story is the reason why you got in the thing that you're doing. Trying to remember the exact scenario, but there's been many people that I've coached where I'll ask them, hey, how did you get into the thing that you're doing? Well, it was the first job I got out of college. I'm like, okay, but like, why? You know what I mean? Back. You have to go way back. Why did you want the job out of college? Why did you want this, right? And why did you go to college in the first place? Why did you think that was a good thing, right? I'm not saying it's bad, but there's a reason you went. Okay, by going backwards, that is the recipe for a very attractive, very interesting origin story, right? Now, I've told you guys my origin story at the beginning of this. And it was for a reason. It's because I knew I had to introduce both the OFA challenge and I had to introduce me. Who the heck is this guy talking? Right? He's got giant eyeballs and he yells a lot. Why do I care? Why am I going to keep getting on and listening? Okay. And I know I have to answer that question in the brain. So what today is we're going to walk through the actual script for the origin story. There is if you guys not have read the book Expert Secrets as well, when this challenge is over, that is your task. This is worth more than my marketing degree. No joke, not being fluffy. Okay, there is a script. Okay, how many of you guys have seen the movie Hitch? Great movie. The movie Hitch was written from a script called the Heroes 2 Journeys script. What happened was this guy named Michael Haig, he's a script writer, and he has this concept of writing stories called the Heroes 2 Journeys. Okay, there are 2 journeys. There is a journey of achievement, okay, where Frodo leaves the Shire. Okay, it's the physical journey, right? Where the protagonist almost always has to leave their home. Okay, out of necessity, not their choice. Not their choice. They leave out of necessity. About halfway through, 10% of the story is us just gaining rapport with the individual. About halfway through the story, it is it's the moment of no return, right? You're going to go forward and go the rest of the way, or you're going to turn back, and that's fine. But there's a physical journey that's going on. Frodo leaves the Shire, right? And as he's leaving, right? Oh my gosh, we are going to take the ring to Mordor, or whatever it is that I'm just, since most of us have probably seen that movie, I'm just using that as an example. Okay. As he starts to go, what he's doing is he's trying to achieve, or he's trying to vanquish or rectify, or he's trying to relieve, or he's trying to help or attain in some way, right? There's things that he's going towards, and it's what he's going after the entire time. As we get towards the end of the story, though, a second journey appears that has actually always been there the entire time. So while the hero is going through the journey of achievement, physical journey on the outside, there's a second journey called the journey of transformation. It's the second of the hero's journeys. The journey, right? It's the journey of transformation. Okay, this is really interesting. Right, in the book, it talks about the movie Cars. And you guys remember the movie Cars? Lightning McQueen, at the very beginning, we realize he's kind of a loser. Right, he's a cool guy, but he's got no friends. And he's making, he's winning, and he's a little bit flashy, and he's a little bit cocky about it. And he's going to go and he's going to win. He's going to try and be the best. As in the first 10% of the story, we gain a lot of rapport with Lightning McQueen. He goes to that, Radiator Springs, and he starts his journey of achievement. It's the physical outward journey. The physical outward journey that we all care about. Okay? That you're doing it right now, okay? You're on this journey, and it's an amazing thing to publish about, by the way. Yeah, I was doing this one funnel weight challenge with this guy. He yelled a lot, had massive eyeballs, they're oversized, and he told me to do this, so I totally am, right? Right? It's the journey of achievement on the outside. As Lightning McQueen goes and he starts to win, right? He's gonna win. He's doing the Piston Cup, right? That's all he wants. The whole movie's based on that. I gotta win. And as he's about to win, he literally stops right in front of the finish line, turns around when he could have won, and pushes across that other guy. I can't remember who it was. And he says, it's just a rusty cup. What does that do to the watcher, to the listener? They go, oh, whoa. That's powerful. That's cool. Funny enough, we don't care about the achievement unless we see a transformation. There's a big gold nugget I just dropped on you right there for your stories. Okay? We care a little bit more about transformation than we do achievement. But achievement, the physical journey, is the reason we check in. Okay? It's the reason why in my stories, I'm telling you this physical movement. I was walking through classes, even in the one that was fake. Okay, I'm walking out of classes. I see a dude in a limo, and he gives me the book. Right, then he tells me 20 and 40. And then I do this a transformation when I'm like, guys, right? I hold the book up, guys. That was 2 years ago. And usually when I do it on stage and I'm trying to make a point, I tell the same story because I don't want anyone to think I'm lying. That's the only story that's fake, right? Right? That's usually when people start cheering. Guys, that was 2 years ago. And everyone's like, yes, he did it, right? And that's where they're like, yeah. They want to see, the achievement is like the thing that's like the physical thing. Yeah, but they need the transformation. It's where the essence of the protagonist changes. Let's see. What if I didn't get an achievement yet? For example, I want to be a coach. Yeah. So what you do? So when I had left ClickFunnels and I was building, like I have a 2 Comma Club award, but I wanted my own funnel on my own. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted an additional one. So what I did is, since I didn't have the second one, I was like, what if that's the topic that people follow me for? And so I said, follow me. Right? That's literally my podcast intro. Follow me as I go and build my next $1 million business without VC funding, right? Giving away equity. Any kind of debt, only using today's best internet sales funnels. I'll give you both the good and the bad so you can avoid the bad and only take the good, right? That's awesome. And so for the next 100 episodes, I was documenting my journey towards my next one. And that's exactly how I did it. So that's actually just as exciting for people to listen to as if you had already achieved it. And actually, funny enough, it's almost more exciting if you haven't hit it yet, right? And sometimes it doesn't matter if you've hit it. The big lie is thinking that you need some kind of credential or you've had the success in order to be followable. It's not true at all. It will be a mistake, everybody, when you tell your stories if you're trying to attract everybody. I'm not. Okay? My marketing offends as many people as it attracts. And I don't mean to offend, but it pushes away as many people as it pulls, which is great. That's fine. Some people don't like my personality. They like the content. They don't like my personality. And for that reason alone, they will not continue with me. That is okay. That is part of the attractive character. To be attractive to some also by definition means you are unattractive to others, right? You got to be okay with that. Okay. I did not handle negativity very well about 5 years ago when I was starting this game. Okay. I would get all offended and butthurt and I'd be like, what? Someone said something negative. They didn't like me. Oh no, for shame, right? And it would wreck my day. And I'd be like, no, this is gonna kill me. And then I'd get hostile. I would. And I'd be like, you piece of crap and other expletives. Are you kidding me? Why would you say that? And I had to grow up. Okay, so it's okay. It's okay. People are gonna jump on you and say I love you, or somebody's gonna say I hate you, and I'm like, that's okay. That's all right. Right? Because unless I have a little bit of polarity, I am not attractive. Okay? Meaning this is what I stand for. Boom! And I plant a flag in the ground. Okay? By doing that, I make myself a target for both lovers and haters. That's all right. There's not an origin story script. There's not a script for, right? It's all the Epiphany Bridge script. What an Epiphany Bridge script is literally, by definition, we need to cause an epiphany in them. Okay? I need them to say to themselves, oh my gosh, I should probably learn how to tell my origin story. Okay? Meaning the action that I'm trying to get them to take, I'm trying to get them to come to that resolution on their own. Do you get it? If I come out and say, you need to buy my product, it makes them feel like, ah! Right? Instead, what I'm trying to do is I need to cause the epiphany in their head. I should buy this guy's product. Okay? That is the Epiphany Bridge story. The Epiphany Bridge script. That's what you're meant to do. A lot of times the reason why people don't sell very well also when they're starting to tell their stories. Okay? The thing that removes it as a sales story and just turns it to a story is people will come out and say, here's a neat story and this is the action you should take. It's like, no. What you're doing is if I tell a backstory, I go through my desires, I go through the walls I was hitting, I go through the epiphany I experienced. What I'm likely doing is I'm putting people, it's state control. I'm putting somebody in a certain state to receive an epiphany on their own. And they realize, oh my gosh. Okay. It's one of the more challenging parts of telling a story. So just follow the script and that's what it causes. Oh my gosh, I need to take this action. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. Here's the link. Okay. Here's where you go put your credit card in. Does that make sense? That's what makes the Epiphany Bridge story so effective. Now, if you want to mess it up, tell them the epiphany. Okay. All right. So what this is right here is, if you go page 114, in my opinion, it's like the most powerful page of the entire book. Page 114 right here. All right. This is the Epiphany Bridge script. Okay, this right here. Now, if you're like, that is really convoluted, all you're doing is you're answering these 8 questions, okay? Now, the thing that will mess up your Epiphany Bridge, we're going to walk through one more thing here so you guys get it. You need to anchor the script to something, okay? What are the 3 core markets? They are health, wealth, or relationships, right? Health, wealth, relationships. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to go sell health because I have a supplement. I have a protein supplement, or let's say it's a green drink. Green drink. I'm going to go talk to those who are drinking green drinks in order to get health. And I'm throwing rocks at that industry saying, make your own green drink because the ones in the stores have an absolute crap ton of sugar. Make your own, right? And I have a product around this. I have an offer around this. Here's your own at-home kit, and we ship out the ingredients to you so you don't have to think about it, which I would love that, by the way. Anyway. This is an actual thing for me, right? But what would be the mistake is for me to go tell an origin story, right, about how I got into right, health, green drinks, and it's like the story stops here is what I'm saying. Meaning the origin story needs to lead us through your experience. Look, I wanted to be healthy. And so I started doing what I saw what was popular, which we all do. And I started drinking green drinks, but I started gaining weight, which is crazy weird. And I started gaining weight, and I realized after studying like crazy, right? And you go through a backstory. You go through the internal, external. I wanted to be healthy. On the outside, I wanted to be healthy, but I wanted better looking skin. So I did what everyone was doing. I started drinking green drinks. The mistake people make with origin stories is they don't guide us through all the way to the new opportunity that you're selling now. Okay, the origin story, the epiphany needs to be, I see why I should make my own green drink now. Thank you very much. You see what I'm saying? Don't have that's the way that origin stories suck it up. And it's the reason why a lot of times when people make an origin story, it's not that effective. It's not that every one of us doesn't have something that we could have gone and achieved, or we were the victim, or we were trying to transform somehow, or we were trying to attain. You see what I'm saying? It's not that part's relatively easy. You're just following the script. But as far as positioning the story, what you're doing is you're guiding them through things that they're likely already doing. Who would be the best buyer for your at-home green drink kit product? Somebody who's already drinking green drinks, right? Somebody who's already trying to make them at home. What we need to see is an origin story that guides them through beginning to end so that they can identify with you. Oh my gosh, I had the same things. Yes, I started and I just wanted to be healthy. Yes, I went and I did these I'm consuming these green drinks. They're amazing, but I seem to be like, my skin's actually worse now. Acne now. I feel like I'm gaining weight. I'm losing muscle mass. What the heck is going on with this stuff? I'm like, yeah, internal desires. I wanted that as well, but external, I'm seeing the same. I started losing muscle mass and gaining weight and started getting bad skin again and realized there's all this sugar in them. And they're like, me too. And you're like, well, duh. I know I should put those in because you're probably experiencing that inside of this market that I'm selling to. You guys getting this? Okay. So if you are going in and let's say you're selling men's fashion, who are you going to sell men's fashion to most likely? Those who are already buying men's fashion type products, not those who are not dressing well already. That's a harder customer. Okay? If you're like, oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to sell a software. The easiest, and let's say it's a lead software. This will help you get more leads. The easiest person to sell that to is the person who's already buying something like that. But people are like, but they're already buying something like that, so they don't need to buy it from me because they've already been buying it. No. How many times have you watched the same movie? Okay, how many times have you bought the same kinds of t-shirts or clothes or whatever? Right? How many times have you listened to the same music? Okay, it's the same thing. How many times have you... My guess is you've not just read one wealth book or one money-making book in your life. You probably read multiple of them. Same exact thing. The easiest customer to sell your thing to is those who are already buying things like that. 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 Okay, I'm going to be annoying so you remember it here. Okay, because it'll change your life. Okay, way easier to make money that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to position the story here to talk to people who are already consuming green drinks and are have been trying to make them at home already. Make your own at-home green drink. And you're like, sweet, I have a sweet kit, and I'm gonna ship out the ingredients to you, and I'm gonna do right, and they're cold packed, so they're fresh, and you guys getting this? But the origin story I would tell is, man, I was really unhealthy, and I have a family history on my dad's side of. I'm just making this up. Just thinking through the script here, backstory. Okay, I'm thinking. Actually, let's walk through it. Okay, if I'm gonna sell an at-home green drink kit, what I'm gonna go try and do is I'm going to say, hey, family history of unhealthiness. Okay. It's a joke. It's a family joke of ours now of how much weight we try to gain during Thanksgiving. I had a friend whose family was that way. At how much they can gain. Eesh. Okay. Internally, I knew it was wrong. Or unhealthy for me. I was like, I'll be healthy tomorrow. On the outside, I just wanted more friends. It was something I could bond over. It was a wow factor. It was something for me to talk about. Because I didn't think my life was that exciting. Right? I'm starting to hit home on some things that could be very touchy for people. That's okay. It's going to identify with them really quick. Okay? What's the wall I hit? I went to the doctor. And the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. I went to the doctor. The doctor said, dude, your cholesterol is through the freaking roof. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you didn't. And I was like, oh, crap, I can't be doing that anymore. And I realized I need more veggies. And the bigger epiphany I had was I haven't had a vegetable in 5 months. And it was candied yams. Okay? I haven't had veggies in 5 months. See how easy it is for me to come up with a fake book story? I just followed the script, okay? I just make sure it's the same every time because I'm just filling in the gaps, okay? I remember purple is a fruit. So I decided I would I started buying green drinks. The conflict I had is that I actually got less healthy. Are you serious? Less healthy, and I needed an additional plan. Like sometimes the plan conflict thing is a dance. There's a plan and then a conflict. So like I have to revamp the plan, but then there was this new conflict. Then I had to revamp a new plan, and there was a new conflict. Okay, so it's kind of a dance sometimes. It's not just so much one and done, column by column here. I got less healthy as crazy. And then I started realizing, oh my gosh, sugar, so much sugar. Sugar all over the place, tons of it, and actually was making me less healthy. And I was a type 2 diabetic after a while. Okay, just making this up. Okay, the achievement I had is that I realized I needed to make these at home, but it still sucks to go through all of the things to actually make a green drink. The transformation I've had is that I won't say I'm a health freak, but I now see obviously the value of health in the role of the mind, in body and mind. And my goal, my mission, is to make veggie consumption easier for everyone at home. So we ship out this stuff. Okay. Now, what did that do? If somebody's like, oh, cool, I'm health, and I'm going to talk to those who are drinking green drinks because they want to be healthy. They think green drinks is the vehicle that will get them health. Okay, I'm not selling green drinks. I'm selling health. I'm not selling make your own kits. I'm selling health. But the path people are walking down to get health is health, then green drinks, and I'm like, yeah, I did that too. And they're like, I am right now, and I'm losing muscle mass, I'm gaining fat, and my skin's getting bad, and I feel less healthy, and I'm actually type 2 diabetic also now. And you're like, I know, I went through the same thing. How do I know how to say those things? Because they're going through them, because I went through them. It's very much conjoining. And what the origin story does is guide them over this last bridge right here from where they currently are over to your new fresh pot over here that you're creating. Okay? So just understand the positioning of where the origin story goes. Hey, if you guys don't know why I'm doing what I am, I know a lot of you guys know I'm in this, like, I sell this green drink stuff. I just thought I'd tell you why. It's because backstory, internal, external, okay, wall, epiphany, okay, all the way through, and that this is a big deal. Okay, this is how we sell without selling.